I knew that I had a family history of heart disease, so I knew that I was at risk. At 31, I went on a 60-mile bike ride from Longmont up to Ward with a couple friends, and we stopped for a break as things started to get a little steeper. And when I stepped off my bike, I felt really lightheaded and a little dizzy, and couldn't figure out why I was struggling so much. And it almost felt like indigestion or something. And so next thing I know, my friend Mike came down the hill and he came to check on me.
It was obvious that she wasn't quite herself that day. Never would have occurred to us in a million years that she was suffering a heart attack.
So it went from just a reaction of somebody just having a bad day on the bike to like, this could be turning into something serious.
At that point, we decided to stop to have some lunch. Well, shortly after we got back on the bikes, I started to feel pressure in my chest, and at one point it was bad enough that I stopped. At that point, we were only about 10 miles away from Keith's house, so we continued riding on and got to the house, kept feeling that pressure, and it kept getting worse and worse. Finally, Keith came into the room and said, "That's it, we're taking you to the hospital. We got to find out what's going on. This isn't normal." The doctor then came in and said, "You have a family history of heart disease." And I said, "Yes." In my head, thought, that's probably it. And I could feel myself, I could feel the tears well from my eyes. And
the toughest, probably the most emotional part was when the doctor came in after all these tests they'd run on her about her gallbladder and everything, and asked her about her family's history of heart disease. And you could see, looking in Carrie's eyes, she instantly knew that that's what it was, and just a single tear rolled down her cheek.
I had a blood clot in one of my arteries. The cardiologist actually said to me at that point, if you hadn't come in tonight, you wouldn't have been with us tomorrow. And that's when it really hit me that, you know, wow, talk about how lucky I was that all the stars aligned to save my life that night.
You generally think that heart attacks are reserved for people that are elderly and out of shape, overweight, and for someone like Carrie who is young and in shape, I was shocked.
It's been a little over a year since my heart attack. I'm doing great. My heart is really strong, and I decided that I was going to do another triathlon just to prove to myself that I could still do it. And so in August, I actually competed in another triathlon and surprised myself by actually doing better than I did in my first triathlon when I was what I thought to be in the best shape of my life.
You know, what I see in Carrie is just that fighting spirit. Like, you know, I had this little setback, but I'm going to go ahead and prove to myself and everybody else that I'm going to overcome this. And, you know, I feel she's just as strong as ever.
If just one person hears my story and realizes all the things that I didn't know before I had a heart attack, I could go through the list of risk factors of heart attack and check off no to every single one of them except for genetics. I go red for all the other women out there like me who don't like going to the doctor, don't like admitting that there's a weakness or something wrong with them, and just to stop and think that when your body is trying to tell you something, you need to listen to it.